Today I fucked up by masturbating high at work and passing out, NSFW. This happened last Thursday, but I'm still very terrified at the thought of this ever getting out. I'm married and work at a fabrication plant in the offices. I get moderately high at work a few times a week like a lot of people here do. Not a smart thing to do, I will admit that. I won't go into too much detail other than I do a lot of data entry, very monotonous. Got to work at 7, get some tasks and emails out and hit my vape pen with a THC cartridge at about 8. At 9, which is break time, I'm roughly at a 4, little more than a head change. Coffee has given me bubble guts, so I head to the shitter upstairs, instead of the one nearest me. I had no idea how good of a decision this was until later. I do this BC there are a higher ratio of female employees upstairs, so I don't have to wait for a stall as much as the crowded one on ground floor. Go in, no one is there, so I'm thinking hell yeah, I'll drop these turds and maybe rub one out if I can. This is also nothing new as I have jerked it plenty of times at work. So the bowels are empty and I'm on X videos, midway through a Sunny Lane doggy scene and getting close. Due to the fact that these stalls are narrower than the ones downstairs, my leg starts to cramp. Instead of finishing in a handful of TP, I decide I'll stand up, tuck back, and blast my seed into the toilet. I stand up quickly to execute my plan, start to come, and everything goes black. I come to out of foggy blackout world and am laying on my side. One of the stoner maintenance guys is shaking me loudly whispering, "Hey dude. Wake the fuck up. Hurry man, come on." I have no idea what has happened, but my phone is beside me still displaying the now stopped video. He goes, "Look man, put your dick in your pants. Break's been over for a couple minutes, someone will be here any time. Hurry the fuck up." I'm still very dulled but quickly get penis in pants and my stomach feels sick. Christ, him getting fired. He says, "Look, I'm not judging and I won't say shit, but if someone else had found you, you'd be in serious shit." Apparently when I stood up, the drop in BP, coupled with THC and endorphins from Climax, gave me an instant KO. He says, "Fix yourself man, I gotta go back to the floor." He unlocks the door, to which I say, "Would you lock the door?" He goes, "Well, I walked in and half of you is laid out under the stall, dick out, and phone on floor with porn. I need a job like you do, so I tried to help and hoping you weren't dead or something." I thank him a lot, and I'm about to cry. He laughs a little and says, "It's cool man, don't worry, I won't say shit. But, for real, do you know where I can get some flour? I've seen you vaping but they hurt my chest." I say, "I'll holler at you after work." He leaves. I have a red mark on my face from laying on the floor and red eyes. Go back to my office, put drops in, and nervously try to shake this whole thing off, which is pretty much impossible. By 3 PM, I've calmed down but scared that this person, while helpful, may very well have taken pictures of my extremely exposed situation. I talk to him in the parking lot where we laugh about it, mine is forced. Tell him I'll find some flour and we part ways. I do not tell my wife as she will undoubtedly be mega pissed. He doesn't have a problem with MJ generally, but doing it at work, jerking off in a stall and blacking out will be a bad fucking deal. As I previously stated, I'm still on edge when I think about the very real possibility of this coming back to bite me, even after being insanely lucky. FML. Too long didn't read. Masturbating at work while high and passing out is extremely risky. You probably won't be saved by a fellow pothead Samaritan. Edit. I know some people have the same FD work habits as I do, and I just wanted y'all to be careful. Not expect gold. Thank you so much. For those asking, yes, I'm still very shook up over it and have decided to quit or at least lay off the trees for a little while. I may go to therapy also. And also, yes, dude now speaks to me every time he sees me. He doesn't wink or make any weird "I know what you did last Thursday" faces. But he does. Edit 2. I am very well aware my decisions were absolutely idiotic. This is the only job where I have been high or masturbated. No, I don't think it is acceptable, not in the slightest. A lot of people here get high BC. It's well known that the CEO is a cokehead and looks the other way. Once I started the habit of getting high, the other started soon after. MJ makes me horny, it is what it is. Regardless, some of the messages I've received are beyond hateful. Yes, I fully admit, I was a fucking idiot. Yes, I have very much learned from my mistake, more than I can express in words. And now I have some insight on why shit doesn't get done at my work. Shit was about the only thing that got accomplished in this story. Damn, what a fucking bro, that could have gone worse if it were anyone else. And today you realize your wife has been a Reddit lurker all along, and knows your username. So by posting this today I fucked up, you inadvertently created a future today I fucked up. Today I fucked up when I posted about getting high, jerking it, and passing out at work, and my wife found my Reddit post. Plot twist, you're the wife. So how did you meet your dealer? So I was going to shit and jerk one out, but I was like, oh shit, someone is already in here. So you're sitting on the toilet jerking it after you poop? Is the poop still there? Do you still need to wipe your butt? What on earth, men are whack. Whenever girls say they like sex and coming just as much as men, I really want to believe them, but then I read stories like this. Today I fucked up by going to the wrong airport and accidentally becoming an international drug smuggler, NSFW. Couple years back as well. Cruising at a wholly unnatural speed to Luton Airport didn't feel right. No agitation, no constantly checking the clock and Google Maps, no imaginary thoughts of strangling the taxi driver because he's not driving fast enough. Arriving at the airport 90 minutes before departure time was an alien-like concept. For once, I hadn't left everything to the very last minute. Unfortunately didn't have my Oscar thank you speech prepared, but a fucking momentous occasion to say the absolute least. More time than Moses in the desert, I expertly chose to pair my lightly spiced pre-rolled hash zuby with an Americana, swiftly followed by hoovering down 2 fags. It's always funny to watch smokers when they know it's going to be their last fag in a while. Shit gets real emotional. So I roll into the airport, feeling like an fucking top boss. Stansted's very own Don Corleone. The holy trinity of nicotine, THC and caffeine pumping through my veins. Fuck yeah, this is bliss. What should I do? Get a big fat Burger King, or maybe pick up a book or 2? Could even push the boat out and get convinced by a duty-free lady to buy an aftershave I didn't need. My imagination was drifting, the options were fucking limitless. Casually strolling up to the departure screen to check my gate number, something suddenly wasn't quite sitting right. Shit. It all abruptly clicked a little too late as I felt my heart sink out of my ass. Only in the wrong fucking place, aren't I? This is a cunting EasyJet airport and I'm meant to be flying with Ryanair. Fucked was an understatement, as probably was massive bell-end idiot. Stansted Airport was an hour away by taxi and my flight departure time was also just about an hour away. Now I'm not the best at maths, terrible Indian I know, but I'm pretty sure it most definitely was not working in my favor. For fuck's sake. Why do I always do this? Why? How? Obviously rhetorical questions, but if you want an answer your guess is as good as mine. Nothing to do with copious amounts of Mary Jane I'd consumed this morning. As I frantically looked up the next flights leaving from both airports, they all costed in excess of £700, all the London Manx heading to the UEFA Cup final in Stockholm. I couldn't really afford that unless I wanted to survive on a nutritious university diet of cornflakes and water for my stay in Scandinavia. Not having many options left, doing like all respectable men do, I resorted to God and said my prayers whilst belting it to the taxi stand. There were people in the queue, but this was an emergency. So I flung myself across the back seat of the first taxi and screeched at the poor befuddled man my time-ticking bomb of a predicament. The fellow gives me the most skeptical / horrific look, raises an eyebrow, considers and then says he thinks we can make it in time. Of course he fucking does. He's happy to take my money for a lost cause. What a fucking twat. I was starting to feel the pressure, if you couldn't tell. Whatever, at least we were on our way. The next hour consisted of what I was trying to avoid earlier: Google Maps, watch, Google Maps, watch. Eventually we get to Stansted 10 minutes before the scheduled flight departure time, shout a thanks at the driver and proceed to sprint top speed into the airport. Never really a wise idea for an unshaven brown man, not least the day after the Manchester terror attacks, but I had no option. Reach around the corner, and our motherfucker, my worst nightmare, the queue is pretty long and fucking windy. Undeterred, channeling my inner Lewis Hamilton, I slalom past the first bunch of commuters, less elegantly bundle past a couple more people, mumble a few apologies, under a few barriers, around a few others. Only one more row to get through. When from out of nowhere, Well, not exactly out of nowhere because he was 6'5" and a beast. He probably needed panoramic mode to take a selfie. This random fuckface blocks my path. I step right, he leans right, I go left, he leans left. I try to sell him the dummy but he blocks again. He must have done karate as well. Quickly realize what kind of party it is. If I have to wait in the queue, so do you, says the hater. I try to quickly reason my flight's about to depart, please let. He cuts me off mid-sentence. I don't care, mate. Fucking motherfucker. I think my blood boiling with rage, but there was nothing I could do to get around him and the doubts were starting to creep in. To waiting for the most excruciating minute of my existence behind this dream-sucking moron. An opportunity from the gods miraculously presents itself, as if he was listening to my earlier mentioned prayers. As he looks the other way, I dart for freedom under a newly opened barrier. By the time he sees me and roars his disgust, it's too late. I'm already putting my bag through scanner. So long, sucker. I hope you choke on some of this curry-flavored dust, pal. Checking my pockets whilst walking up to the security guard, I feel something squidgy in my back pocket. Fuck, I immediately know that's my fucking 1/8 of hash. Can't believe I forget to leave it at home. It's too late to throw it on the floor or turn around as the security guard already has his beady eyes locked on me. Mortified by my stupidity, I jitter forward with a little poop in my pants. He seems suspicious. I blame the panic on being late. He looks me up and down and nods to move on. The relief is fucking immense. But suddenly the realization that Stansted is the stupidest airport in the galaxy hits like Tyson in his prime. Commercial shops combined with fucking slow-walking imbeciles everywhere. That's how they control the masses. Fuck you, capitalism. Hate you all. Glance up at a screen and it's 4 minutes to departure time. I put my head down and run as fast as I can. But my saggy jeans start to ride around my thighs. I had sacrificed putting my belt back on for more running time. Another poor life gamble lost. Unrelenting, one hand clutching my waistband, one hand on my pocket to stop everything falling out, I charge like Chucky on a chase. I'm pretty sure my bag smashes into some poor kid's head. I hear some dad's background abuse, but nothing was going to stop me, not even this bloody Stitch. Okay, fuck, I underestimated you, bastard. Stitch actually have to stop and peel over, only 3 fucking gates away from the promised land. After catching my breath, I muster whatever energy I have left to claw myself to the gate just as they are shutting the barrier exactly on departure time. Who's the granddaddy of leaving things to the last minute? And the best bit of it? I don't have to spend the first 2 days in the ghetto finding some dodgy looky African man to buy some highly dubious quality weed. Sometimes it pays to be a gazer. Actually, all things considered, I must be a bloody genius. Too long didn't read, went to the wrong airport, made it eventually to the correct one but forgot to take the weed out of my pocket and smuggled it through international customs. This is a whole lot of queue jumping. In the UK, karma will come for you, sooner or later. I don't care about the drugs thing. Not sure about airports in London, but over where I am at, 4 minutes to departure would have meant that the plane would already be on the tarmac ready for takeoff, or at least waiting in queue for takeoff. It's like you were also high while writing this. Clapping hands. Couple years back was probably a legal safety clause. He's on the airplane right now and flying at about 120% of the plane's altitude. Jesus dude. Here I am constantly looking at my watch and getting nervous if I'm at the airport only 90 minutes before departure. Yeah, boarding starts 30 minutes before. Some airline won't check your bags if you show up less than an hour before the flight. I had a friend complaining because they showed 45 minutes before their flight and didn't make it to the gate in time. He just couldn't understand why the gate agent didn't just hold the plane and reopen the jet bridge to them. Flying is easy, people. Show up early. You can play on your phone while taking a shit at the airport just as easily as you can at home. This reads like it's not real. Today I fucked up is mostly autobiographical fanfic written like it's meant for a creative writing class. Today I fucked up by using EasyJet. Hello Reddit. This is my first Today I fucked up, and it's because I chose to fly EasyJet, even after a bunch of people told me to avoid it. I hope you all enjoy this story, so here it begins. Updates posted below. Thank you everyone for the kind words and support. We are looking into our rights and ways to get compensation for everything, including our lost vacation time and wages. I had no idea this would blow up. I posted it because I needed somewhere to vent all this frustration and stress, and felt like I really made a fuck up booking with them after being told not to. I have been given fantastic advice from a majority of you. We are both very heartfelt. For the small few of those that posted rude comments or suggested this is fake, believe what you want, but it's far from it. It's a fucking living nightmare we had to endure. We have finally arrived back home in the States on the 31st. My wife and I decided to take a trip to Amsterdam from the States this summer to visit family. During said trip we booked a separate flight to London for 3 days. The 22nd, 24th. We arrived in Amsterdam on the 21st and left the next day. All went smooth. We enjoyed the city of London and visited pretty much all of it in the time we had. Then the chaos began. On the 24th, while at Gatwick Airport, our flight to Amsterdam was cancelled due to a fueling issue in Amsterdam. This was understandable as our flight home from Amsterdam was on the 28th, so no big deal, we'd catch another flight. My wife had purchased alcohol after security and was told by a manager we could get a free checked bag. After being in line at customer service for 3 hours, the airline said the next flight was on the 26th and they had booked us for 2 nights at a hotel. When we arrived at the hotel they said we were booked for only 1 night and dinner was no longer being served. On the 25th we went back to the airport to request another hotel since they had mistakenly booked just a night, and we had to wait another 5 hours in line. Eventually booked us a night at a different hotel. When we arrived at the hotel they told us nothing was booked, and to go back to EasyJet. We went back and had to wait another 3 hours, totaling 8. They apologized and said the confirmation was never sent. So a whole day of opportunity wasted. Got back to the hotel and missed half our food vouchers. On the 26th we got to the airport and our flights were cancelled again, due to weather issues. However, employees told us it was due to a crew issue and other airlines were flying to Amsterdam without a problem. We had to stay in line again for 4 hours, only for them to tell us there were no available flights for a few days. We needed to be back in Amsterdam by the 28th. They hired a taxi, and drove us to Luton Airport 2 hours away on the 27th. Another whole day wasted. On the 27th when we arrived at Luton Airport we asked about our free checked bag we were promised on the 24th, and an employee told us, "I don't care what a random person or employee told you, it's not happening." I tried to explain how we have had multiple cancelled flights and the employee said, "I'm going to walk away now." I was about to get upset. My wife made me walk away before it happened. We decided it wasn't worth our fight. Another hour at customer service. When we got to our hotel we were told we had problems with our food accommodations and had to argue there for half an hour, which then they only allowed us pizza for dinner. Whatever, it was food. Yet again, another day wasted. On the 28th our 7 AM flight was cancelled again due to a crew issue we were told. It was unbelievable. We had only gotten 4 hours of sleep. In response they put us on the 8 AM flight. Ran to security, got to the gate and got loaded into a bus. After 20 minutes waiting to be driven to the plane our flight got cancelled for the 4th time, and they announced it was a crew issue. We would now miss our flight home. When we got back into the airport the attendant told us to wait in an area to receive further information. They had then come to us and told us they don't know where our checked bags went and may be lost and could take a few hours to have them returned. I was livid. This whole trip had become a comic book. We got our bags an hour later. We waited on customer service for another 3 hours and they told us we had to go 2 hours back to Gatwick Airport to catch a flight home and they would pay for our flight to the States. We called Norwegian, who we missed, and to reschedule our flights cost us £900, which we are hoping EasyJet will refund. They said they would, and wrote a notice in our account. But who knows, my trust is gone. They drove us back to Gatwick and we stayed the night. So now today, on the 29th, We were told we had no check-in bags on our account. We explained our insane situation and they still were hesitant to check a bag for us at no cost. Eventually, after a lengthy period of time, they did. Now we await in the airport for our 5th flight to Amsterdam, and hopefully then home. I won't ever choose this airline again. I understand the first cancellation, the second, third and fourth not at all. The people we dealt with were mostly aggressive, stressful, and non-caring. We totaled 19 hours dealing with customer service. We were told different things by different employees, failures in bookings, missed accommodations, etc. Update 1, loaded onto a bus for the 5th flight and have turned around due to a technical failure on the plane. Currently in a permanent delay. 5 flights. Update 2, they are trying to divert a new plane for us to use. Maybe another cancelled. Update 3, finally arrived in Amsterdam. It took EasyJet an additional 2 hours to get us a new plane and allow us to fly to Amsterdam. They weren't allowed any discretion to give us free water or snacks and were demanding it be charged even after everything. At any rate, now I need to wait a few days to fly home. Hopefully that doesn't get fucked. Update 4, arrived home on the 31st. Update, regarding other forms of transportation. Some of you were asking about the ferry and the train. On the 25th, Eurostar had 2 lines shut down due to excessive heat frying the wires. There were no available tickets for the days I needed. Ferry, also sold out. In terms of a car rental, it was possible to rent a car last minute but were told it must be returned in Belgium first, and then another car must be rented to return in Amsterdam. Not only did they want a shit ton of money, but they also told us a car rental to drop off in Amsterdam wasn't available. To get a plane directly to JFK from a local airport last minute was starting at £1,600 per person, and they were connecting 22 hours plus flights. Not worth it. Direct flights were over £2,200. Rescheduling Norwegian from AMS to Gatwick wasn't possible either, as they wanted £1,600 per ticket to change the time and airport. We had to pay £500 a person just for a reschedule at Amsterdam. Too long didn't read, stuck in England from the 24th 29th. 4 cancelled flights at 2 different airports with EasyJet. Driven to another airport and then back to the original airport. 3 cancellations likely from crew issues. Mismanaged accommodations, rude and aggressive employees, rescheduling our flights home, lost baggage, was found eventually. What a trip. Read the updates. European airliners have to offer you compensation for delayed or cancelled flights. You should look into your rights, as I can imagine you're allowed quite a bit. Yes, at this rate I'm going to research as much as possible when this is all over. Depending on my situation and how they treat me, I may even go as far as pursuing legal options against the airline for compensation and other fees. This is beyond fucked. This sounds incredibly horrific. A nightmare. 1 missed flight, yeah, somewhat common. 2, uncommon. 3, now that's pretty rare. 4, might as well play the fucking lottery. I'll make sure to avoid T-storms in the event of being struck by lightning. This should be in the TIFU, not today. I fucked up. Also, I'm going to walk away now. I'm starting to get upset after 3 delays and 324,123,431 hours on the phone. I would have been gone sideshow Bob crazy. By this time I would probably taken hostages with my boarding pass and already executed too because my demands were not met. This is very unusual for EasyJet, and would be of great interest to the UK media. If you're still stuck at the airport and you're bored, look up the phone numbers for the news desks at papers such as the Daily Mail. They might well be interested, and might send a photographer along. This should also help persuade EasyJet to get you moving, too. Or Daily Mail. Yeah, they would XD. Though I doubt the Brits have any special sympathy for an American tourist's troubles with the infamous discount airline. It's a story heard many times before.